truth be told, yeah, it's a state of emergency. It's a state of emergency of what is going on in the beauty industry and how the how the clients are being treated and all those things. And, don't get me wrong, but I'm a stylist, but I'm kind of on the client side for this one. I recognize, even coming back, I recognize so many things that are just kind of off, and it leaves the client with the short end of the stick. So what am I talking about? The foolishness that's going on in the beauty industry with these stylists and how they're treating the clients, and how the relationship between the two has gotten so toxic. Like, it's bad. Like, getting our hair done is so sacred, and it's just turned into a complete circus at this point. There's so many spiritual things that happen when you sit down and get your hair done by another goddess. And man, we have turned that thing into the absolute worst experience for both parties involved. It is so crazy. And I'm like, okay, so what is really going on? Because, I'm looking at it from everybody's standpoint. And, I'm a Libra sun, so, I'm going to always try to see it on both sides, and I see it. But what is the real psychology behind what is going on in the beauty industry? That's what I started thinking about. And I'm like, how can we troubleshoot this thing and get to a space where we can understand what's really happening and hit this thing where it is? So this is my little 2 cents. I don't know. How about, or have you considered that, of course, getting your hair done is considered something we do to groom ourselves, or whatever the case may be, make yourself presentable to the world, that type of thing. But over the years, it's gotten way past just daily hygiene. It's like a requirement to meet a beauty standard. And I'm just like, this beauty standard, this BS is really taking us out. Like, it's really getting us to the point where we are really not being able to recognize ourselves anymore. And I mean, I ain't gonna lie, shoot, I be caught up in it too, shit. I ain't gonna sit here and tell you I'm delivered from it, because I'm not. But I do recognize it's messing us up on a mental level, spiritually, emotionally. We already struggle with self-love. Y'all know it. Go on and admit that shit. We already struggle with our self-love foundation. It's a little rocky. We stand up on it. We stand up on it tall, but at the end of the day, we know it's a little rocky. It's hard for people to even fathom how to show themselves self-love. Like, what is self-love? Like, what does that look like? How do you live it? Like, what do you do? What are some examples? Tell me what it is. Self-love, like, it's like really digging in your own authenticity. Like, I am cool with where I am right in this. No matter what happens around me, no matter how the beauty standard fluctuates and changes and tosses us to and fro, whatever I feel like the beauty standard is for me in this moment, this season, this outfit, this night, that's what it's gonna be. Period. I mean, if y'all really, because we always say, we are our own self. I'm real. I'm this and I'm that. But it's like, truthfully, we just all trying to be and look like everybody else. Look at that. That's what the beauty standard is. I'm gonna show you how you need to hit this mark right here, and then good, you like everybody else now. You done made it. You done made it. And we be just doing it, all the stuff. They tell us to do your brows like this. You better go goddamn do it. They tell you better make sure your body look like this. You better go damn do it. I don't care if it costs you your life. Figure it out. It's just crazy. It's something that we've all gotten caught up in some shape, form, or fashion. Some shape, form, or fashion. I've seen the most confident people that has the lowest self-esteem, myself included. I know I'll be damn doing it. I'll be faking it to my damn self. I didn't chase so many of my triggers down to the same shit. Not feeling enough. I said the people won't. Why not? Yeah, that old beauty standard, it has really gotten us off the mark. Like when you think about it, we're trying to meet a beauty standard so we can get whose check mark? Is it the men check mark, the women check mark? Whose check mark we trying to get? Just the standard? Either way, all of it is outside of your own authenticity. So, hey, I guess it don't matter. What y'all think? I don't know. We be trying to meet it. Can you imagine just waking up and not liking yourself? I do it. And you know how you wake when you wake up in the morning, sometimes you feel a little sad or you feel a little some kind of way. You're like, shit. Then you gotta get up, you gotta put your smile on, and you gotta put your beauty standard on, whatever that is for that day. And you gotta get it on out there. Hope you standing up in it, meeting the standard. All the while you depressed as fuck. And you know it. Feeling like shit. Like I gotta make it through the day and I gotta look good doing it. I'm sick of that. I'm sick of it. Ain't you? Shoot. What we gonna do? But either way it goes, at the end of the day, we try to get some level of validation and try to make ourselves feel like we're enough because we don't feel like we are. So that means that's easy, You got the whole world out here saying this is how you supposed to look. And if you look like it, then boom, you finna get all kind of shit. You finna get a whole social media presence. And a whole lot of people that's following you and expecting you to meet that standard. We do all of that to get validated. To get that check mark. Feel like we're enough. We're enough because the people said it. We couldn't find that in our own state of being. I know I find it hard daily. All my triggers lead back to it. Every last one of them. So now it's time to start really asking myself if I'm being triggered or am I allowing the things that I have not handled within myself still control me. Like the fact that I lack showing myself self-love. And honestly, I don't even know what that shit look like. Like people always say that. I always say it, the people always say it. All the BS. But do anybody what we really doing about self-love? I know the foundation of it is your own authenticity. So let's troubleshoot it. Let's see. If it's grounded in our own authenticity, then that would mean everything about us that we absolutely love, absolutely hate, despise, the good and the bad, we okay with it. We good with it. And we good with it no matter what anybody else says about that shit. Like, I don't care if it's not meeting a beauty standard. I like it. It's part of me. I'm going to roll with it. Everybody say they're their own person until it's time to meet the beauty standard. Then we all getting in line to look and move the same way. What is that about? People always say they're unique till it's time to meet the beauty standard. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. That's what we're dealing with. Meeting that beauty standard. So if we're showing ourselves self-love, especially to unplug ourselves from the need to want to meet the beauty standard, our own authenticity is where the foundation of it all lies. So if we are starting a journey of being authentic, what does that look like? Because at the end of the day, if you've been faking it, how do you go back and find who you really are? Let's be honest. I mean, because I'm just really only being honest. I'm only worried about the people that's willing to be honest along with me. If we are starting from scratch to find out who we are, what does that look like? How to take off all the BS and get to your foundational self. What does that look like mentally? Like, oh my God. Switch myself back to default settings? Girl, we got to go back to the default settings. That's a whole damn book. The default settings of loving who we are, because at that point no one had told us that we was anything different than great within ourselves. That's part of going back to default settings. Oh, system restore? Is it default settings or is it a restore? Like, can you ever find a time in your life when you was cool with it and you can like really remember it good? For some people, it probably wasn't that long ago, honestly. So, is that something that we can do? Maybe. Going back to default settings. Damn, what that look like? There's a level of unprogramming that has to happen. And it still has to happen in the midst of you still being programmed. Like, it's hard. It's hard living in a world that is invested in your programming and have to live deprogrammed and find your own authentic self in space. That shit is hard. That is not easy to do. Like, it's not. When you think about that shit, everything around us is programming us to want something outside of ourselves, and we're supposed to stand in our own authenticity. Now, how is that supposed to work? How? Everything programs us, and everything tells us everything is outside of us. And then you're supposed to turn around and tell somebody, oh, stand in your own authentic self. Don't be programmed. Don't be this and don't be that. How? How do you find your own essence in the midst of chaos and illusions? How? Man, please. This is not going to be easy to do. I know that. It's not going to be easy to do, but we're going to have to make it. We're going to have to make it pop. We're going to have to make it do what it do. It's time for the divine feminine to rise up, and we all out here just a mess. Our energy is displaced and out of balance. The divine feminine energy. Yeah. We got some work to do. Starting with me. Thank you. I accept the challenge. How about that? Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's going back to your default settings and creating a foundation of authenticity and staying grounded in what you find that to be in a world that is full of programming and illusions. And that is the only thing that is going to save you. If nothing else, your mental space. That right there, going back to your default settings, sitting in your own authenticity and not being programmed by the programming and the illusions that we live in. That's the formula. That's it. Because you can take that and throw that across the board. So I'm just trying to see, like, how do we get to a space where we are not in that pick me energy? Like, honestly, if you think about it, that pick me energy, boy, that energy. Let me get myself together here. All right. That pick me energy is us feeling that we are in a space where we have to be chosen, and it makes us move in that manner. We do all the things, we get caught up in the BS, and anytime I say BS on this channel, it's definitely going to be talking about the beauty standard, because that's what I'm talking about when I say BS. But we get so caught up in the BS and try to position ourselves, however that may be, to be able to be chosen. It puts you in a position where you are competing with other women, because at this point it's a race for who can be chosen. So you find yourself competing against other goddesses. And truthfully, when you look at it, if we're the one choosing versus the one expecting to be chosen, there is no competition between the goddesses. We all stand in our own authority to draw in who we want to pick from, based on our vibration, of course. But we create the atmosphere for those to come to be chosen. So really, I think that's a good start. Just understanding what the mission is, what the goal is to basically do just that. So I don't know, let's navigate it, because I'm finna take this journey myself. Basically, we finna find ourselves. I mean, that sounds so cliche. That sounds like a fresh off a movie, but it's the truth. Like, we're gonna find our authentic self. Like, who is that? Who is it? Y'all know who y'all's is? Damn, I'm late. Trying to figure this thing out.